everyone, it's Maki here. Kira Yamato's combat style in the Gundam Seed series is quite distinctive. He fights in a way that aims to incapacitate his opponents without taking their lives as much as possible. Do you know the moment when he decided to adopt that style of combat? Today, we'll discuss Kira's fighting style and some common misconceptions about it. The first mobile suit that Kira, piloting the Freedom Gundam, faced off against was the Soft Army's Jin. At that time, Kira targeted the Jin's main camera and the arms holding weapons, severing them with his beam saber. Indeed, by this point, Kira was practicing a combat approach of depriving the opponent of only their combat capabilities. However, at this moment, a strong determination had not yet formed in Kira's heart. Are you surprised? While I will explain in conjunction with the scenes to come, the human heart is complex. Even if one holds ideals, within there are moments when emotions get in the way. It's the same for us living in the real world. The same is true within the narrative of Gundam Seed. Take for example, the father of Nicole Amalfi, the pirate of Ritz Gundam. Yuri Amalfi is a member of the Front Council. He didn't always have a proactive attitude towards the war. He was not pleased with the idea of young people heading into war and losing their lives. However, his perspective changes with Nicole's death in battle. Yuri begins to cooperate with those who are pro-war. As a result, his research and development of the neutron jammer Kaler is introduced to the battlefield. So, what about Kira? He's no different. When he attacked the Jin, Kira indeed tried to avoid taking the opponent's life. However, his determination was when he encounters the duo Gundam in Alaska. Kira calls for both the Earth Alliance and Zack to retreat. He initially urges the attacking duo Gundam to withdraw as well. However, the duo Gundam relentlessly attacks the Freedom Gundam. Dodging Isaac's onslaught, Kira retaliates with his beam saber. This strike was aimed at the cockpit of the duo Gundam. In the novelist version, this scene is described in greater detail. The Freedom Gundam slash was unquestionably aimed at the cockpit, and Isaac's psychological portrayal reads he was certain of his impending death. Isaac, being one of Saft's ace pilots, is highly unlikely to misinterpret an enemy's attack. In Gundam Seed Destiny, a pilot in the same red uniform as Isaac Razor analyzes the combat style of the Freedom Gundam, stating, "That machine never aims for the cockpit." This line is based on an analysis of the Freedom Gundam's attacking movements. I believe the likelihood of Isaac's assessment being incorrect is low. They have the capability to distinctly analyze attacks targeting the cockpit and those not targeting the cockpit. It's mentioned that just as the beam saber was about to reach the cockpit, it was diverted towards the lake. Kira had braced himself to take the life of the duo Gundam's pilot. It mirrors the scenario where, facing off against Athran, he was prepared to take his life. Kira also recalls the young girl who lost her life due to the duo Gundam, his face contorted with anguish. Kira himself was also fighting against the hatred that existed within him. Yet, at the last moment, he renounces his hatred for the opponent. It was through this duel, depicted with Isaac, that Kira's combat style truly crystallized. It's this moment where emotion and power fused as one. But in the end, Kira giving that kick is kinda cute, isn't it? In fact, a similar portrayal had been depicted earlier on. It's the scene where Kira's twin Kakali points a gun at Asran. Kakali aims the gun at Asran, who claims to have taken Kira's life. However, she begins to question can peace truly be attained through this cycle of attack and retaliation. And so, Kakali decides not to shoot Asran with the gun. Through this sequence, one can grasp how important confronting and overcoming hatred is in the narrative of Gundam Seed. Of course, Kira's approach is always to avoid taking a life as much as possible. But there are times when he inevitably has to face situations where he must take a life. In his battle with Valor Creed, he targeted the cockpit of the Providence Gundam. Similarly, in his fight against the Destroy Gundam, he aimed for the cockpit. An opinion from the director, Mitsuo Fukuda, is shared in the bonus features of the Blu-ray disc. To stop the Destroy Gundam, Kira determined that he had to take down the pilot. And with resolve, he attacked the cockpit. It's not the case that Kira always solely follows a combat style that avoids taking lives. Naturally, Kira feels pain when he has to take someone's life. It would be nice if the upcoming movie sees Kira liberated from this torment.